I'm not inclined to continue an interview with a person as badly motivated as you.
We're going to cure cancer. If we can hear, it'll be excellent.
Wait, we're not cutting this, all right?
We won with pleasure. I literally would never.
I like having sex with children.
Never had sex with children.
I do not like having sex
None of
with
them
children.
at all.
You want to let me finish here for a second?
Hey, why don't you just, shut the fuck up and let me answer the question?
I'll be glad to answer your question, pal.
We're just entertaining ourselves. Everyone else is like, why are they just saying it over them?
We've heard it so much, we can now just... Did I send it to you on, I think I sent it to you on Twitter.
On Twitter? Okay.
Yeah.
I learned over this guy's live chat that Islam is another form of Satanism.
You're still fucking in there.
I'm still in there, and then I'm like, it's not a form of Satanism. And then she goes,
It's just another Abrahamic religion.
yeah, and she goes, how do you know you're an atheist? And I was like, it's because I can read.
The only thing that I just got over Twitter is a link to this
Oh, you should be able to,
broadcast.
you'll see the video.
Billy, Billy, whenever you get a chance, just so you know, we're doing a show.
Oh, I'm doing both. Tony put it in the wrong live chat.
Oh, it's fucking Logan Paul.
Yeah, we got that weird
Oh,
fucking
Jesus.
interview. This is
Yeah, send me
Billy
this video that
Infused.
we're watching. That's what I just want to be on the the same page these people
Oh, no, we
watching
can
this.
hear-
Because I've
we
never
can hear
seen
the
this.
video.
Like, I've seen... Oh, okay, we can hear this.
Yeah, you can
we
hear this.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's just like the segment intros you won't be able to hear because it'll be an echo.
Echoing and all.
Yeah.
Got it.
This one you'll hear.
Johnny Design says he's
Do what?
spamming in the chat something about hashtag Geek Room watch to learn. Like, what do you learn? What do you
We're
learn
gonna
from
learn
this
about
show?
Logan Paul
Yeah,
today.
They're going to learn
Are
way
you
more
kidding?
than they're learning from Call from our Uprising.
This is an educational program, and don't you forget it.
That's why Logan Paul is the point of interest right now.
Exactly. That's why we have Logan Paul on the screen. We got to learn us a thing, guys.
Weird learning
I'm the
scholars.
fastest entertainer on the planet. I could
We're
be
talking about running.
Running. I could be the quickest man on the planet.
You
I'm
do
everywhere,
Instagram?
baby. I'm everywhere. And I'm nowhere. I'm like a ghost. Liz, I do have to stop you right there. So you said
It's like a ghost blowjob.
Oh, blowjob.
Ghost blowjobs.
Where's the alert?
Wait.
Aw, thanks, Lucy.
Rewind that? Can you say that again? What?
He's having his Charlie Sheen moment.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, this is what I'm thinking, is that he's got tiger blood, baby.
Running
Yeah,
through his
I do
veins.
stop
Hashtag
right
winning,
there,
am
so
I right?
Yeah.
you said you used the word controversial.
Yes.
Just so you know, I am an ex-controversial YouTuber. That's
Correct.
it's no longer me.
I know that.
And I'm betting $100,000 that I'm the fastest man on the planet. I'm the fastest man on the planet. Yeah, but I will say my expenses just surpassed my income for the first time ever. I just sat with my financial manager. He told me that. Like I'm definitely going downhill from
Did
here.
that make you nervous?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm terrified. I think it's the beginning of the end. I'm uncomfortable with myself, you know.
Come on.
I also have pink eye. It's not contagious.
But talk
No,
to
it
me
is.
about-
It's
Yes, it
Totally
is.
Yeah.
contagious.
Okay, so you're watching Logan Paul's meltdown, basically.
You know what? I've done cocaine, so I get it.
He's
Yeah.
betting he's the fastest man on the planet. That is great.
Yeah, no, you think you are when you're on cocaine.
Yeah.
I can't imagine why his expenses are over his budget at this point.
Cocaine.
I need him to race some freaking goddamn NFL players, please.
Let's just get Usain Bolt.
Or even
Exactly.
No, we don't
Even-
need to waste Usain Bolt's time. We can just get somebody who's pretty quick on a fucking football team. That's
Yeah,
all we
You know
need.
what?
just
Let
get
me
Devin
go.
Hester. He's retired for like 3 years, but
You know,
I guarantee
get-
he's faster.
Get
Let
the
me go up-
slowest running back on a college team.
There you go.
Let me just go up to my old high school. It's not that far up the road from me. I'll go see like what their fastest track runner is, like that fucking, cross country people, and we'll get one of them.
This is Logan's way of saying he can run away from his financial issues.
I can run away from the gay thoughts.
Fuck.
Ain't no dead body in the woods can catch me now.
Yeah, like
We just got a super chat from Lucifer with a bunch of ocean emojis. Sweet.
Thank you, Lucifer. I
Appreciate
don't have the blowjob thing here. I'll have to go grab it.
It'll come on. It'll come on. It came on last time. She donated before, and I thanked her because I'm a good person.
Well, other than that
You
last
have to
part,
think.
Billy's correct. There it goes. Two blowjobs.
There we
Yeah,
go.
there it is. Oh, there's the overlay.
So
Yeah.
Are we done with this, or are we
Yeah,
going
we're
to
done
the
with
next
this one.
There's not much
All
to
I
say.
seen, all I saw was just him having a fucking Charlie Sheen moment.
I got pink eye.
It's not
It's a
contagious.
pink eye. It's not contagious.
Wait,
He's
you
gonna
gotta
have
like
a
this.
wild ride for the next week and
So-
a half.
I'm calling it. Logan Paul got pink eye from eating ass, just like the orange juice guy.
I'm calling
I
it
just
now.
wanna know.
Logan Paul is going to be a freaking news reporter for Fox News. He looks like one.
Yeah.
He is blonde.
He is
Yeah, I was
blonde.
about to say, is that just because he's blonde?
Blonde and has like a chin.
Super fucking Aryan with like a ridiculous chin. Yeah.
Yeah. He's essentially the opposite of the Trump family. He has a chin.
Present and accounted for.
I want to know though, because I was doing a lot of illicit drugs at the time that Charlie Sheen had his little tiger blood moment.
So you had that in
During
common.
during that time, yeah. During that time, there was a particular research chemical drug that came out that was supposed to mimic the effects of MDMA that people initially on the street called literally just Charlie Sheen. I would like to know if we would, in fact, have something as an equivalent that they're just calling Logan Paul now. And if so, I want to do it just once, just to see what that train wreck's like.
You don't want none of that shit.
Just once, just to see what that train wreck's like. I've done PCP, I can tell you, don't do that.
All right, let's see this woman track
The
down.
more you know from Geek.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. We're finding out all kinds of laws. So.
Don't do PCP, kids.
Don't do it. It's not worth it.
So you
But
did
you're
learn
invincible.
something today.
You learn something today. PCP is a trash drug.
Oh, shit. Let's watch a woman track down some guy that flashed her.
This woman is being praised for chasing down a guy she says flashed
And
her
she's
during
blue.
her morning jog. She says he exposed himself.
Fucking
and her
Charlotte
reaction
Flair.
was all captured on surveillance video just outside Boston. Look at her sprint after
Look at
him.
my dick!
Her mess with the wrong
Boston.
lady.
Okay.
So
Makes
who
sense
is
why
this
she chased him
fearless
down.
jogger? Her name is Aya Pulaski, and she's
Oh, shit.
6'1". Turns out
You
she's
just
an amazing.
fucked
Look
with
at
the
her.
Russian spy.
Dude,
I know, right?
she would beat my ass. Like, seriously, this guy better be glad he got away.
Can I get her number? I'm about
Jake,
to.
She'll
she's
call.
a personal
It's
trainer.
Inside
What
Edition. It might come up.
True. They got no qualms of putting up stuff.
Hashtag
Here's
dogs.
her number in house.
Oh, and here's
Realize-
where she goes jogging. Okay.
This is her daily route.
That'd be so fucked up.
He was there to flash you. What went through your mind?
That this is just not right. And I made a decision it's not happening. So I chased him down.
Aya, a mom of two, says she grabbed the guy and held him for 5 minutes.
I grabbed his hand, one shoulder, one hand, and I started
And he
pulling him
came
down.
twice.
I yelled at people and I waved my hands and I said, call the
She still has
police,
that
call
strong Russian
911.
accent.
Nobody did nothing.
What
Was
his
his dick
reaction?
still
You
out?
had to see his face. He
Because
was
the thing
terrified.
is about telling people to call 911 is you have to point at one person and say, you call 911.
Yeah.
Because
Otherwise,
otherwise
nobody
it just
does it.
becomes a division of responsibility thing.
Oh, someone else.
Right. You got to delegate.
I can't call. I got to record this.
Right.
He
Well, good on
flashed
her,
her.
man.
Boston,
Like,
though. Why didn't she just beat his ass? Like,
She doesn't sound like she's from Boston is the problem.
well, no, she's probably immigrant.
Yeah, that's definitely like Yugoslavia.
It's
She's still a
like
beautiful
syringe.
fucker.
Syringe.
So
Whatever the
cringe.
fuck it.
Yeah.
But she eats she looks like she could eat a whole raw meat diet. I'm starting to think there's a connection here.
They're both in America.
Tony Designs in the chat said the minute she touched him, she became guilty of assault. Yeah, but it's not Connecticut, so chances are they'll probably ignore that.
I think that like you can't charge somebody like that, and like no, that's not gonna that wouldn't work.
Like just outside of Boston, like no, they her putting her hands on him, it probably didn't go anywhere. Here in Connecticut, though, you'd both be at fault.
Really?
Oh, yeah,
All
absolutely.
right. Yeah. I'm just looking at that situation. I just don't find her at fault. So. Yeah.
No,
I think
tried
that's
to
most
break up
people
a-
though.
I tried to
Pretty
break
funny,
up a fight and I got hit with a promise to appear.
Jeez.
Damn.
No good citizenship laws, huh?
Nope. Not good. Not allowed.
Don't
Well,
help your fellow man. Fuck off.
Even then, if I was the prosecutor in that case and she got charged for it, I would drag my feet on everything. Like, oh, yeah, I don't see any evidence. Like, I would definitely try to get her off. I'm like, I'm not working for my own team. Like, fuck this.
So he says, so now all Bostonians sound alike. As somebody who's been to
Yes.
Boston quite frequently, no, they don't. As some people who haven't been to Boston and spent a good deal of time there, no, yeah, they do. They all think of one accent and they think of something about parking the car down at Harvard Yard, even though you can't fucking park at Harvard Yard. There's no fucking parking.
Walk it.
I understood maybe 3 of those words.
I'm still pretty sure it's not English.
It's all right, kid. You'll be all right, kid.
Was that khakis or car keys? I'm curious.
You gotta park. Can't park in Boston almost at all. Shit.
Have you heard the law of conservation of consonants? It's a rule
I
that
live it.
shows up. It's a rule that shows up in language, and it's like the R that is dropped in Boston shows up in Texas because it must be
Yes.
conserved. So, in Boston you can't park the car, but in
Yeah,
Texas you do the whoosh.
Yeah. Well, the
It
thing
just shows up randomly in words where it doesn't fucking belong because the R must be preserved.
the Boston, people who pronounce it Boston as opposed to Boston, it depends on what part of Boston you're in. South Boston, it's Boston.
Wait, look, Grampy Lobster. Here's
Racist against New England. Yeah, I feel you.
Here's that video about the petition to change Halloween.
An online petition to change
Oh,
the date
no.
of Halloween has
Fuck
gotten
every one
thousands
of
of
you.
signatures.
Yeah, wait till you hear the reasoning behind this. The petition is aimed to have the holiday move to the last Saturday in October. Already, more than 65,000 people have signed the change.org petition. Their goal is to get 75,000 signatures.
Who's giving
All
out
in Gotham
lemons?
City.
All right. Here's
Who
The
the
goal-
fuck is giving out lemons?
The goal is to be goddamn buzzkills.
Association
You
argues
were right
that it's-
earlier when you're like, this is a bunch of suburban moms. Like that's all this is.
Exactly.
Like it's those people. Like there's what it is there's about 85,000 of those people that are always like knocking on your door from the homeowners association. Like, and all of them found this petition, and then they're like, you know what? I'm just concerned about the safety. And it's just
You need to
get
cut
off
the
my
grass.
lawn. Like
And they do that thing where like they're really like sassy about what they agree with, and their head moves back and forth like too quick, and like
It's all a bunch
Yeah.
of it's all a bunch of fucking Karens, just like, that short
Yeah, no, I
haircut.
bet you-
When they're not fucking yelling at some poor retail manager, they're fucking signing change.org petitions.
and
to
you know
fucking
exactly
me.
what haircut they all have.
Oh yeah.
And they want to speak to the manager of Halloween right now.
so if you can bring Jack Skellington, I would like to talk to him.
I got a question. Has anything ever came out of these petition.org things? Like, has any changed? Like, they
Oh, I'm not even sure.
did this petition and something actually fucking changed? Because
I know that there was a giant petition to build the Death Star,
I saw
and that didn't go anywhere, unfortunately.
I know Daniel Tosh had a bunch of them that he was trying to get on Obama's desk, and they were all sarcastic. I can't remember what they were, but they were pretty bad.
Yeah, there was something like that the president has to consider it or something like that, or whatever the fuck, as soon as they get
Yeah.
to a certain number. But I think that's like, there's like a certain site with that. It's like a White House. It's not changed. Is it change.org? Is change.org that site? I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, but that policy ended with the last president.
Probably did, yeah. I can't imagine this going across Trump's desk and him understanding, because he can't read, right? So,
someone read this for me.
Well, I don't
it's not
know,
because he
like-
thinks the proposition is ridiculous. It's because he wouldn't be able to read the petition.
Depends on the percentage of evangelicals that are on board with this.
Moving Halloween, I doubt any of them would be. I don't think they acknowledge Halloween exists.
Yeah, they'd be moving Halloween into the trash can.
Well, exactly. That's why he's not going to give a shit.
Like, I don't know if we eat Halloween anymore. That's not the devil.
Did they even
We've
say
just
why?
decided, oh no, we're just going to do away with it totally. Fuck it, right?
Like, I'm sure that if you scrolled through the names that are signed on that petition, it's like probably about, 40% Karen, and then scroll through, and it's like all these other, like Becky and all these other names. It's like, oh, okay, jeez, all right, yeah.
It is the who's who of white moms.
A lot of
suburban white moms.
A lot of honeys and sweethearts
I just don't know about the safety in my low crime area.
It's gated, but I still don't feel safe.
I know.
My Ring doorbell keeps on going off every time.
Oh shit! We watched a little bit. I don't even think they even say why they wanted to do it.
It's funny, the people in the gated community are the ones saying, let's build a wall, and they don't even feel safe in their gated communities. Isn't that funny?
Oh my god. Like, your guys already built a wall, fuck off. Like, it's harder to get into your neighborhood than it is to get in the country. Like, come on.
Yeah.
And that's through an airport.
Safer, longer, and stress-free celebration. Company claims there are more than 3,800 Halloween-related injuries a year. The petition didn't clarify how a date switch would reduce injuries, but said it would allow for a full day of celebration rather than rushed evening weekday hours.
I like that.
It's supposed to be evening thing.
Yeah, and who's trick-or-treating for all goddamn day? Who's going to do
Like
that?
I said.
Make December 31st and November 1st holidays. Make it so that they're federal holidays and we don't have to fucking go, go to work on those days or some shit. So that you can have, like, if you do that and everybody that's celebrating, you're not going to have this fucking issue. Like, move the weekend. Don't move the holiday to the weekend. Come on. Get out of my house.
Get off the porch. The light's not on.
I don't give a fuck what they say. I'm celebrating on the 31st, no matter what. Even if there's a fire. Like, I don't give a shit. We're doing
if
it
there's
on
a
the 31st.
fire that is your celebration, what are you talking about?
Goddamn right.
All right.
The biggest fall bonfire.
Like I said, it sounds exactly like a bunch of suburbanite moms that just don't want to go out at 8 o'clock at night on a Thursday.
Yeah, and even if it's their shitty little like community, they can still celebrate Halloween on their day. Like, I've had communities in my area that celebrate it on different days.
I don't want my door ringing at 10 o'clock p.m. on a Thursday. That's just too late.
Oh, Lord. Let's see. What else we got? We got Trump lashes out at Fox News.
Oh, this is awesome.
He's turning on his own folks.
In our politics lead, if you look at his Twitter feed, it's pretty clear that President Trump has some bones to pick today. With Sweden for charging American rap star A$AP Rocky with assault, with the Federal Reserve for the economic numbers, and with France for taxing American technology companies, tweeting, quote, "We will announce a substantial reciprocal action on Macron's foolishness shortly. I've always said American wine is better than French wine."
No, you. See, American wine is better than French wine?
Oh, no.
You can go fuck yourself.
Well, bear in mind, this comes from a guy who claims he doesn't drink, so that makes sense.
I don't drink a lot either, but I'm not retarded.
Well, I think like his brother died due to some alcoholism or something, so he swore it off supposedly.
Okay, maybe you should start drinking.
What is going on?
I don't know.
All right. So, why did he go after Fox News, though?
I don't think they went to it right yet.
Yeah, we're building up.
And Abby
the
Phillip has
stupidity,
more
I
now
guess.
on the summer of President Trump's discontent.
After another mixed economic report today, President Trump is spinning the numbers and blaming the Federal Reserve. Tweeting the second quarter GDP numbers were not bad considering we have the very heavy weight of the Federal Reserve anchor wrapped around our neck. With his re-election prospects hinging on a booming economy, Trump showing his frustration the Federal Reserve has not cut interest rates more aggressively. Although other economists say some of the slowing growth is due to his trade wars. And Trump even lashing out at Fox News for a new poll showing him trailing his Democratic rival.
You get a tariff. You get a tariff.
All right, so he's pissed off because they put him up to people and he's losing in some of them.
I'm looking at these numbers right here, and I'm like, I cannot believe that some of these people lose to Trump. Like, where are we at? What is going on? In a world where Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris lose to Trump.
But Biden wins. But fucking Biden
But
wins.
Biden wins. Yeah, that's the
Well,
the weird part.
Biden
on top
has
of that.
a
Like, that's the
penis.
icing
Warren
on the
makes
goddamn
sense.
cake.
I actually like Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, I do too.
But no, it's because Warren doesn't have a penis. It's your problem, man.
Well, you're not from New England, so.
That's debatable.
And being debatable if Delaware's New England. It's close enough.
There's an argument there.
No, it's not.
Yes,
It's close enough. It is small, and it's one of the 13 colonies. You can.
It's part of the colony, sure, but it's not New England.
Go ahead, Billy, say it.
So Georgia is part of the 13 colonies, but I ain't gonna be running
Is
around
it?
saying that's part of New England. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not good with my states and capitals.
Look, Billy learned something
Carolina.
today.
I was like, there's no way, Georgia. It's too backwoods. Come on.
It's too backwoods. It was all right. Now I'm going to tell you something. It was a frontier colony. It was a buffer province against the Spanish. It was a military province. Now, and it was designed so that if the Spanish invade from Florida, because those goddamn Floridians, that the Carolinas would have time to prepare.
I thought it was just Carolina at the time. I
Well,
thought
it was
South
a federal
Carolina was made after the Civil War.
No, South Carolina was a no. South Carolina was part of the original 13.
Oh, okay.
No, I think that was Virginia.
That was West Virginia.
West Virginia was the split that was made in the Civil War.
See, we've always rightfully had our eye on Florida. Like, what the fuck are they up to?
Exactly. No, the formation of Georgia was America looking at Florida, going, those guys.
We still looking
we need
at them
we
like,
need a
what the
buffer
fuck?
colony.
Seriously, Florida. Can we switch out Puerto Rico for Florida as a state if we just want to stick with that nice rounded off number? Is that-
I still think like if Florida votes for a certain president with their state, you should get negative points.
Yeah,
like they're not making good decisions.
I still maintain that Florida's not real. That it's just actually a fucking cartoon. So.
No, that's Australia.
I've been there. It's real.
Well, Australia is Scooby Doo, so that makes sense.
I think that oh, what the fuck? Like, I agree with you about getting negative points for Florida because those guys are riding alligators over to the polls. Like, and anybody that's doing that, just like, I don't know if you want to take their opinion super seriously. I say this as somebody that's got family in Florida, but it's because of that, honestly, that I no.
Lest we forget, they are solely responsible for the presidency of George W. Bush, and I'm done.
And they're not responsible for the presidency of Trump. But so is Georgia. So
yeah, there was a couple of states that Hillary just said, "Oh, fuck those. I've got those in the bag." That
Mm-hmm.
Wham wham. Spoiler alert. No, you didn't.
Pennsylvania will be fine. Shit.
Dude,
what the fuck is a Rust Belt state? What is that?
That was a long.
What is that?
That was a long night. Like hitting refresh on my phone and going, "Holy fuck, he's gonna win." What?
Yeah,
What?
we did.
I wasn't on the show yet. I voted for
fuck
Gary
no.
Johnson.
I did too.
I'm
In all honesty.
You voted for Gary Johnson.
I did.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I voted for crazy ass Jill Stein.
Yeah, none of us here voted for Hillary except for you. So
I figured the whole goddamn thing was a joke, so why not vote for the guy that called Trump a pussy? That's pretty funny.
Yeah, exactly. And to be fair, if you hear who I voted for in the primary, Gary Johnson is a way better option than when I actually voted.
Who did you vote for in the primary? Now
I
wanna
voted
know.
for goddamn Ben Carson.
Oreos.
Why?
Did you say Oreos?
Because at the time
Defend that shit.
At the time I was Christian, and I thought, he's a Christian brain surgeon. He can't be dumb as fuck. And then I heard him speak.
I love it.
No, what state are you in?
I'm in Delaware.
By the time Delaware voted, it was well known that
I
Ben
didn't
Carson
pay a lot
was
of
very
attention.
tired.
I didn't.
He's very tired.
He's very he was on stage and he would just be like, you know what? I'm up here, man.
Yeah.
I hated Donald Trump and I still wanted to be a Republican.
What's in Aleppo?
But the option for that was Marco Rubio. Like, if you wanted to
Rubio.
hate Donald Trump and still be a Republican, you should have voted for Marco Rubio. That was the candidate that the Democrats.
But
like,
he
I hope he
sweats
doesn't
a lot.
win.
But he sweats a lot.
He does sweat a lot.
No.
You guys should have voted for Jeb, man. What the fuck's wrong with you,
Please
Republicans?
clap.
Please clap. Like that.
I forgot he ran.
Oh man, the please clap line just ended his career, dude.
Oh man, it ended his career faster than you can say.
Yeah.
Jeb is low energy.
Like, you know, that's one thing that Trump was really good at, was just like repeating
Leapy
a
Ben.
single insult and just like going at it.
He's good at catchphrases, yes.
Mm-hmm. It's because it's about all he understands. So he's, you know.
Yeah. He's got a.
So Trump's mad basically because his friends over at Fox put up to my surprise, honestly, a legitimate poll. That says,
is
okay,
that the reason why?
Here's these numbers that we've come up with, and Trump, you're not looking so hot in some of these.
I'm pretty sure they probably fudged the numbers on Warren and Harris a little bit, but you know,
Even if they did,
God, it's a Fox News poll.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's consider the who they're polling. There is kind of like this weird thing about like the secret Trump voter, that like Trump voters don't want to admit that they're Trump voters to pollsters. But at a Fox News poll, I have a lot of doubts that phenomena is showing up in these numbers. It seems like even among people that are watching Fox News or that Fox News is polling, Trump's in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, especially if Sleepy Biden runs against him. Like, you know.
I am happy to see
he's
that.
Creepy Biden, not Sleepy.
No, he says Sleepy. Like, you know, Trump could roll with Creepy. I don't know why he's not rolling with Creepy, honestly.
Do you know why he can't roll with Creepy? Because he goes, "You're Creepy Biden." He goes, "At least I'm creepy with other people's kids, not my own." And then just fuck off.
And then a third party wins for the first time in history.
Oh, I would be ecstatic.
I don't know if Biden could make that play, but Jesus Christ.
I am happy to see that my Jewish grandpa's doing all right.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
I did put in to win a steak. I did put in to win the steak dinner with Donald Trump. I didn't win. I wanted to call him an idiot to his face.
Oh.
Like I pretended like I was a big supporter of him, and I was like, I'd love to meet him. He's such a good guy. I'm like, please let me sit next to him for like 10 seconds.
If it's a steak dinner, I just want to see how he gets his steak done and determine whether or not he's a literal Nazi based on that.
Oh, if he opens up the ketchup bottle, I'm like, oh, fucking kill yourself.
Billy, if you had won that
well-done steak with a ketchup.
You could basically just prepare for a trip to fucking McDonald's. Like, you know just as well as I do.
Well, no, I'm also going to try to get one of those pens with a camera in it. I'm like, this is appearing on Geek next week. Let's get it.
Something tells me that'll end quicker than the Neffy interview.
Oh, it probably would. I'm getting
so tell me a story about that, because like when I come on before the show starting, they're like, you know, yeah, some people run away from these interviews. Like Neffy fucked off in the middle. Like what made him fuck off in the middle of the interview here?
Okay. So I told Neffy before it's not a debate. I'm just interviewing you, and I'm not going to deal with your gish gallopy bullshit. And then he tried to gish gallop, and I tried to go, hey Neffy, calm down. Let's take it point by point, because I can't refute a pound of shit with minutes. And he told me if I wasn't going to stop interrupting him, then he was going to leave. And I was like, if you're going to keep on gish galloping, I'm going to interrupt you. And then he said, I'm leaving. And I said, okay, bye. And then he said, kick rocks, young man. And he left, which was weird.
Did he say kick rocks?
He called you sport.
Sport. He called me sport.
Kick rocks, sport.
He told you to kick rocks as he was rage quitting.
Did he like just read The Great Gatsby before he came online? Like, what is he? What's he fucking doing, man? Like, did you think? And he also, like, I feel like Neffy is like, you know, oh, I'm gonna read this new book, The Great Gatsby. Like, you know, the fucking Neffy, man.
Yeah, then it promptly had a live stream talking about, you know, how he owned us.
The atheists, they just can't handle.
And he told me I didn't. He told me I didn't understand physics when I told him the lunar bukkake theory is bullshit.
Lunar bukkake theory. I love that thing. His explanation for the craters on the moon.
Yeah.
That the Earth, in his words, ejaculated onto the moon.
Yep.
Like he used the word ejaculated, guys. He used that word. That's what he did. He said that as the flood was happening, that there were underground compartments of water, the huge giant underwater ocean, that when the earth split, water shot out of it and caused the 40 days of rain. And as that was happening, the earth ejaculated onto the moon.
All right.
And caused the craters there. And that's the reason why there's craters on the side of the moon that we can see. But all this bullshit about the other side of the moon having more craters, fuck that shit. That's not real.
That just sounds like somebody who's been watching too much fucking B-roll hentai, honestly.
I think that he just...
Can't confirm.
He was just really into that word ejaculated.
Yeah, he just really likes ejaculate.
Like,
who isn't?
Fucking Thunderfoot had a fucking ball game with that back in those days.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like there's like he played that word ejaculated so many times to the point where I even thought Thunderfoot was getting off on it.
So that's why by the time he came here to do the interview on our channel, he completely avoided that word at all costs.
Yeah.
I think he learned from that mistake, but that verbiage was originally
use the word
used.
ejaculated.
No,
What you should do? Like,
He tried
Well,
to
if you know us
explain
at
it,
all.
but when he walked away, we were like, "Yeah, this is the lunar bukkake theory." Everybody, he came back. So I'm surprised he even still did the interview because the fucking thumbnail for that whole thing was him and the moon. So
If he's familiar with us at all, he knows that we're perfectly fine with ejaculating in general. So
Sure.
Yeah.
I called for that one chick to take a load right to the eye, an AIDS load, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah.
And the thing about it is, I didn't know Neffy. I don't know Neffy at all. So
No
I
context.
had no shit like at all what he was gonna say. Nothing.
well, I mean, if you know Neffy is really predictable. Yeah. So, like, as soon as you get him on there, he's going to talk about those like stones in Peru or whatever.
Oh, Inca stones.
Made by a farmer. Yeah, exactly, those things. And he's going to talk about that Stegosaurus carving, and he's going to talk about how Adam and Eve rode a T-Rex to work. Like they're just he's gonna be saying like some of the most ridiculous shit. Like he is. Like I think even other creationists look at him and go, "Whoa, dude!" Like, I don't.
Stop.
To Tony Designs in the chat, who says, "I now have a new goal in life. I want to be the first man to ejaculate on the moon." Somebody has gotten very close. There was a news story I read a long time ago about somebody, I don't know if they worked for NASA or if they worked for the building that they were being stored in, but there was a bunch of fucking moon rocks that they brought back and were storing in a room, and a dude like stole a bunch of them and fucked his girlfriend on them.
Okay.
You know what? I don't fault the guy at all.
I don't either. I mean, it is a federal crime, I believe. Because
Technically, we fucked on the moon, though.
Yeah.
Technically, they fucked on the moon.
If only they had like a zero gravity simulator or something, that would have been amazing.
Oh my god, have the rocks just floating everywhere?
Yeah.
Or like doing it in the
Yeah, until the end where you're just floating everywhere, and then I was just like,
it's everywhere.
bad idea.
Well,
I'm
you're
in a
trying
snow globe.
You're trying to get off, and you just have like a rock beating you in the face because it's just
Oh man.
It can be distracting.
Yeah.
Depends if you're a novice, maybe. Don't let that shit get to you.
Your pullout game might accidentally kill your girlfriend.
On that note, we're going to head into